All right, y'all. Welcome to Ask the Pastor. And this is a series and a segment where we're going to ask the pastors here at Roots Community Church just some simple questions and some fun questions that will help you guys. And this question that we have today is with Pastor Dave. And Pastor Dave, the question is, what are the top 5 ways someone can stay involved in community going into the summer?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think the first one is kind of having a perspective shift. One of my biggest my biggest pet peeves is when people undervalue themselves in the body, right, of the church, right, of the family of God, right? They think, well, if I'm gone, I may miss out on a sermon or miss out on something, but who's even going to notice, right?
No.
So I think the first one is recognize that you are important to the body of Christ. And so think about it from that perspective. If you're gone, you may be missing out on some things, but people are missing out on a word God may have given you for someone, or an encouragement that you could have had, or a way of serving in a way that blesses someone, alongside the things that God wants to teach you. And so the number one thing in the summer, stay plugged in, right? See your value and stay plugged in, lean in, keep going.
Absolutely.
The other thing is use, maybe number 2, use the unique moments that the summer brings to invest in different ways and build relationships a little deeper. So there are things, especially in Seattle, you can do during the summer. During the fall, you just can't do, right? So go for a hike with someone, go to the lake with someone, invite someone that you may not spend a lot of time with to do something fun, do a cookout, right? Just try to think of unique ways to connect more deeply with people that you can't do during the winter, right?
Absolutely.
If someone didn't want to sit and drink coffee in a dark cafe, right? Then now's your moment to hit them where with something they connect with. So that'd be number 2. Number 3, let's see. I think just stay, deepen those relationships that you already have, and really be proactive in it. I think sometimes during the summer, I'm just thinking about, okay, my family, this is finally our moment to go, right? To go into the woods or that kind of stuff.
Right.
But be intentional, right? Send a text. There are a lot of people that during the summer, it might be sunny outside and they might be feeling a little better in some ways. Some of the sad is worn off, right?
The blues.
Seasonal affective disorder, the blues are gone, but they might still be very lonely, and looking for people to spend time with. And so being intentional, texting, inviting someone along, remembering
For sure.
that there are other people that need community, and really leaning into that. So those are the 3 that I have.
The 3 core?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would even say too, you kind of touched on it, but like serving in such a way, like there's always a lot of events that are happening. Roots, you guys are throwing a bunch of events in the summer and beyond. And even like a thing I like to do too is, you touched on this already, but every Saturday I like to like check in with someone, like an old friend, pretty much. Like send a text, give a call, whatever, and then invite them to those summer events, to those things, and beyond. So I think that's
and
good.
I think in general, just understanding. Sometimes I have people say, "Well, I feel disconnected from community," or I don't feel like Roots is still the place because I don't feel connected. And I'm like, well, bro, you weren't here, And so understanding that being away and not being there really does affect, like, they need you, but you also need them. And if you give that space and you keep giving that space, that connection and that closeness is just going to dissipate.
It's going to fade
over time, right? So you put in what you want out of it, right? And stay connected and really invest in that.
One of the, I don't know if you've heard of this before, but there's what's her name? Bronnie something, but she was a nurse, and she pretty much was like a hospice care type nurse, and she gathered like, what is it, the top 5, I believe, regrets of people that are dying, pretty much. And one of them was people saying, I wish I stayed in touch and kept those golden relationships and friendships that I had with people.
Yeah. It's important. It's important. And working through conflict, like lean in, work through things. Don't just ghost,
Don't ghost.
Lean in, figure it out.
Yeah.
Communicate. And once you work through that, you'll all be stronger.
Absolutely.
If you do it in the right way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Pastor Dave, when you think about community, what does it mean, especially for Christians, what does it mean to actually be deeply involved in community as a Christian?
Yeah, I think we live in an age of artificial relationships, right? Or where we feel like we're connected when we're not. I was talking to a lady just the other day. I had no clue how I knew her, but she felt like she really knew me well because we were Facebook friends, right? And so how do we cultivate intimate community? I think one thing is being intentional in your relationships, making it as personal as possible, which might be very countercultural. So instead of a text, give a call. Instead of a Zoom meeting, meet up in person, right? Leaning into the in-person stuff, because it's kind of like a muscle. You have to keep pumping it.
Absolutely.
In order to be comfortable talking to people even, right? And in those moments. And I would say in church, there is a trend towards ghosting or just coasting or kind of just slipping out of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of my biggest things as a pastor is like, look, if you've got something going on, if you're praying through something, if you're working through something, sometimes people meet up and they're like, hey, we've had this big thing we've been praying about for a year and we're going to drop it on you just now. It's like, well, hey, if we are in authentic community, that's something we should be a part of the whole process, right? Like people should know what are the deep things that you're going through and you're working through. And they're only going to know if you are willing to take the risk and be vulnerable and be authentic. And so I would say lead the way in being vulnerable. And, I've been in a room where one guy will just have the guts to just share what he's really struggling with. And then all of a sudden it kind of like breaks this cap, right? Or this chain. And then all of a sudden the other guys feel the freedom to be honest as well.
Yeah.
And so be the one that leads out in that vulnerability. And there is a risk in that.
Yeah.
People are going to hurt you. People are going to betray your trust. But it's worth it. And if you're longing for deep relationship, you have to take that step and be intentional and leaning in that. And I would say with the church, just recognize the weight of your community. A lot of times people say they long for deep community, but then really how they treat that community does not match up with what they say they're expecting from that community. So I'm expecting that community, I'm expecting that church to know me deeply, to care about me. If I don't show up, to reach out to me. Why hasn't anybody reached out? But it's really a two-way street.
It is a two-way
right?
street.
And so lean in, jump in both feet first, right? Into community and be intentional in cultivating those relationships and talk it through, talk it out, right? Bring up the awkward stuff and work through it. Don't just ghost, right? There are plenty of, I think we feel the freedom now because of how technology has made our relationships that we can just step out of something and there's no implications.
Right.
But there are, right? And even for you may not feel the hurt like that other person feels, but you are doing something to your own soul, to your own ability to cultivate relationships when you do that, right? When you just ghost and step out.
It hurts, because it's another person on the other line.
Yeah.
So
lean into relationship, be intentional. Don't just take the easy route. Really invest.
Yeah. Beautifully put. Pastor Dave, a big question that I have that I've thought about, and I've talked about this with my friends, is singleness and being single today, especially going towards the summer. How does a Christian that is single right now, how do they maybe utilize their summer to either meet someone, utilize it in a way that's productive, that's in a good way?
Yeah. I think, this is always a sensitive topic, right? And I have to be understanding in that. I was single until I was 29, so I understand a lot of that challenge. I haven't been married with 6 kids forever.
Yeah.
But I think not seeing it as a holding pattern, not seeing your singleness as a holding pattern, right, or as a waiting period until you reach this or that, or but really jumping in and trying to live life to the fullest, asking God for this season, what do you have for me to do? What kingdom purpose do you have for my life right now? And then go about it. Get after it, right? Grow yourself in the Lord. Like, grow in your intimacy with God. Make sure that make sure that you're as ready as possible for when God brings that person to you. And I know as a single, you've probably heard that, and it's annoying for me to say that.
We hear it often.
Yeah. But I think that it is a key that God has a purpose for right now. And he is using right now to shape you and to form you. And so just not holding back as you wait, right? At the same time, put yourself out there, right? Go to places where people are. In an age of social media, be in person, be in places where there are other people, right? Jump in at Roots and build relationships with people. Take initiative in that. Sometimes we wait, but we're not really doing the things that can give the desired result, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say just be around people, initiate. If there's not anything in your community that fits your needs or is fitting a need of, like, say, a group of singles at Roots, right?
Sure.
Initiate it. Start it up. Have hangouts, invite people in, and just see what God would do. Help cultivate the community that you're desiring, right?
Absolutely.
And God can use. I really believe God can use that.
Yeah, you've given me a good idea. Maybe start a singles group or something.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Awesome.